Arthur Conan Doyle, The Hound of the Baskervilles. Chapter 7. The Stapletons of Merripit House. Part 2. A small insect flew across our path, and immediately Stapleton ran after it with surprising speed and energy. To my fear, the insect flew straight toward the great mire, and my companion did not stop for a second, jumping from one piece of firm ground to another, his green net waving in the air. His gray clothes and his quick, irregular movements made him look like a large moth himself. I was standing there, watching him, feeling both admiration for his great activity and fear that he might fall into the dangerous mire, when I heard footsteps. I turned around and saw a woman standing near me on the path. She had come from the direction where the line of smoke showed the position of Merripit House, but the slope of the moor had hidden her until she was very close. I had no doubt that this was Miss Stapleton, since there could not be many ladies on the moor, and I remembered that someone had described her as a beauty. The woman who came toward me was certainly beautiful, and of a very unusual type. There could not have been a greater difference between brother and sister, for Stapleton had light hair and gray eyes and plain coloring, while she was darker than any brunette I had seen in England, slim, elegant, and tall. She had a proud and finely shaped face, so regular that it might have seemed cold if it had not been for her sensitive mouth and her beautiful dark and eager eyes. With her perfect figure and elegant clothes, she was indeed a strange sight on a lonely path across the moor. Her eyes were fixed on her brother when I turned, and then she quickly walked toward me. I had lifted my hat and was about to say something polite when her words changed all my thoughts at once. "Go back," she said. "Go straight back to London, at once." I could only look at her in foolish surprise. Her eyes burned with strong feeling, and she tapped the ground impatiently with her foot. "Why should I go back?" I asked. "I cannot explain." She spoke in a low and eager voice with a slight lisp in her speech. "But for God's sake, do what I ask you. Go back and never set foot on the moor again." "But I have only just arrived." Man, she cried. "Can you not understand when a warning is meant for your own good? Go back to London. Leave tonight. Get away from this place at any cost. Hush, my brother is coming. Do not say a word about what I have told you. Would you mind getting that orchid for me among the mare's tails over there? We have many orchids on the moor, although you are rather late to see the most beautiful ones." Stapleton had stopped chasing the insect and came back to us, breathing hard and red from his effort. "Hello, Beryl," said he, and it seemed to me that his greeting was not completely friendly. "Well, Jack, you are very hot." "Yes, I was chasing a cyclopides. It is very rare and not often seen in late autumn. What a pity that I missed it." He spoke calmly, but his small light eyes moved quickly from his sister to me. "You have introduced yourselves, I see." "Yes, I was telling Sir Henry that it is rather late for him to see the true beauties of the moor." "Why, who do you think this is?" "I suppose it must be Sir Henry Baskerville." No, said I, "only an ordinary man, but his friend. My name is Dr. Watson." A look of annoyance passed over her expressive face. "We have been speaking with a misunderstanding," said she. "Why, you did not have much time to talk," her brother said, with the same questioning eyes. "I spoke as if Dr. Watson were living here instead of only visiting," said she. "It does not really matter to him whether it is early or late for the orchids. But you will come along, will you not, and see Merripit House?" A short walk brought us to it. A lonely house on the moor, once the farm of a cattle owner in the old rich days, but now repaired and changed into a modern home. An orchard surrounded it, but the trees, as usual on the moor, were small and damaged by the wind, and the whole place looked poor and sad. We were let in by a strange, thin, old servant with a worn coat, who seemed to match the house. Inside, however, there were large rooms furnished with elegance, and I felt that the lady had chosen the style. As I looked from the windows at the endless moor, covered with granite stones and stretching to the far horizon, I could not help wondering what had brought this well-educated man and this beautiful woman to live in such a place. "Strange place to choose, is it not?" said he, as if answering my thoughts. "And yet we manage to be fairly happy here, do we not, Beryl?" "Quite happy," said she, but her voice did not sound truly convinced. "I once had a school," said Stapleton. "It was in the north of the country. The work was mechanical and not interesting for a man like me, but living among young people, helping to shape their minds and giving them my own character and ideals was very important to me. However, fate was against us. A serious disease broke out in the school, and 3 boys died. The school never recovered, and much of my money was lost forever. And yet, if it were not for losing the pleasant company of the boys, I could even be glad about my misfortune, because with my strong interest in plants and animals, I have an unlimited field of study here, and my sister loves nature as much as I do. All this, Dr. Watson, has been caused by the expression on your face as you looked at the moor from our window. It did cross my mind that it might be a little dull, perhaps less for you than for your sister." "No, no, I am never dull," said she quickly. "We have books, we have our studies, and we have interesting neighbors. Dr. Mortimer is a very learned man in his field. Poor Sir Charles was also an excellent companion. We knew him well, and miss him more than I can say. Do you think it would be wrong if I called this afternoon to meet Sir Henry? I am sure that he would be very pleased. Then perhaps you would tell him that I plan to do so. In our simple way, we may be able to make things easier for him, until he becomes used to his new surroundings. Will you come upstairs, Dr. Watson, and look at my collection of Lepidoptera? I believe it is the most complete in the southwest of England. By the time you have looked at them, lunch will almost be ready." But I was eager to return to Sir Henry. The sadness of the moor, the death of the poor pony, the strange sound connected with the dark legend of the Baskervilles, all these things filled my thoughts with gloom. And above these unclear feelings, there was the clear and serious warning of Miss Stapleton, spoken with such strong emotion that I could not doubt that there was some serious and deep reason behind it. I refused every invitation to stay for lunch and immediately started back along the grassy path by which we had come. It seemed, however, that there was a shorter way known to those who understood the moor, for before I reached the road I was surprised to see Miss Stapleton sitting on a rock beside the path. Her face was brightly flushed from running, and she held her hand to her side. "I have run all the way to catch you, Dr. Watson," said she. "I did not even have time to put on my hat. I must not stay long, or my brother may notice that I am gone. I wanted to tell you how sorry I am about the foolish mistake I made when I thought you were Sir Henry. Please forget what I said, as it does not apply to you at all." "But I cannot forget it, Miss Stapleton," said I. "I am Sir Henry's friend, and his safety is very important to me. Tell me why you were so anxious that Sir Henry should return to London." "It was only a woman's whim, Dr. Watson. When you know me better, you will understand that I cannot always explain the reasons for what I say or do." "No, no. I remember the emotion in your voice. I remember the look in your eyes. Please, please be honest with me, Miss Stapleton. Because ever since I arrived here, I have felt that there are dangers all around me. Life has become like the great Grimpen Mire, with small green patches everywhere where one may sink, and no guide to show the safe path. Tell me what you meant, and I promise that I will pass your warning on to Sir Henry." For a moment, an uncertain expression passed over her face, but when she answered me, her eyes were firm again. "You make too much of it, Dr. Watson," said she. "My brother and I were greatly shocked by Sir Charles's death. We knew him very well, because his favorite walk was across the moor to our house. He strongly believed in the curse over the family, and when this tragedy happened, I naturally felt that there must be some reason for the fears he had spoken about. So I was troubled when another member of the family came to live here, and I felt that he should be warned about the danger he would face. That was all I meant to say." "But what is the danger?" "You know the story of the Hound?" "I do not believe in such nonsense." "But I do. If you have any influence over Sir Henry, take him away from a place that has always brought death to his family. The world is large. Why should he choose to live in a place of danger?" "Because it is a place of danger. That is Sir Henry's character. I am afraid that unless you can give me clearer information than this, it will be impossible to persuade him to leave." "I cannot say anything clearer, because I do not know anything clearer." "I will ask you one more question, Miss Stapleton. If you meant nothing more than this when you first spoke to me, why did you not want your brother to hear what you said? There is nothing in it that he, or anyone else, could object to." "My brother very much wants the hall to be lived in, because he believes it is good for the poor people on the moor. He would be very angry if he knew that I had said anything that might cause Sir Henry to leave. But I have now done my duty, and I will say no more. I must return, or he will notice that I am gone and suspect that I have spoken to you. Goodbye." She turned, and within a few minutes had disappeared among the scattered stones, while I, with my mind full of uncertain fears, continued my way back to Baskerville Hall.